So we did some work with 60 Minutes.
We did, yeah. That must have been 5 months ago.
January, wasn't it? Was
Yeah,
it January?
yeah.
Start of January? 14th of January, something like that we started. That was, it's weird, like, it's been, 4 or 5 months since we did it. And it's airing on Sunday the 24th of May.
Yeah, that'll be Sunday morning for us.
Yeah, Sunday morning at about 10:30. It'll be, probably when most people see this, it'll probably already aired. But, I forget how intense that whole process was. For me, anyway. I don't know what it was like for you. You can obviously give your 2 penneth in a minute. But obviously, I did the Paedophile Hunter, and you hadn't had any real experience, or you were there we did a day shooting with you on that. But for me, the whole experience of that, we're working with them, was more intense in a way than working with...
It was more we had to get done in a day.
Yeah.
And, it really did show how little time there is in a day. We had potential stings going on, and then the day would just end before we'd get a chance to conclude the sting. It was just, it was constantly where I needed more time in the day, where all those nights I was up until 2-3 o'clock in the morning getting things done. It was, the days just disappeared quickly.
I think for me what slowed it all down was, we could have had other people, but it was because they were doing their other things and doing this and doing that. And we were like, look, we've got a potential, and it would take them half an hour, 45 minutes to sort of get themselves ready, and then we'd have to get there. Whereas if it was still just us two, or if it was, say, if it was when we did it with when I did the Paedophile Hunt with Amos Pictures, it was a case of grab bag, go. That was it. Whereas with these, it was, I'm not complaining. It was a brilliant experience. It was intense. I mean, like the guy we got, that guy in the hotel.
Yeah.
Why do you think we're having this conversation now? Why do you think you're in the position and the situation that you're presently in at the moment?
I know why. Because I sent inappropriate messages to a minor.
Right. To what you believed was a minor. To what you was, it was a fictitious minor. It's what you believed to be a minor. Yeah. So, okay. So why is that appropriate of a man of your age to be saying to what you thought was a lonely 13-year-old child, why have you carried on? She told you straight away, like, these are your messages.
Honestly,
that's your message, isn't it?
Yeah,
message there.
Yes. I felt sorry for a 13-year-old having to go on adult dating sites to find a friend. This is going to sound really strange, but the messages I sent her were supposed to scare her off. I was hoping she'd turn around and say, "You're a fucking dirty pervert, don't contact me again." Because I know you're not going to think so, but I'm a decent bloke, and I didn't want her to end up in a situation where she met somebody, and because I believe she was a 13-year-old kid.
Yeah. If you were that hang on, let me finish. If you were that concerned about a 13-year-old girl, you wouldn't have said, "I would love to your brains out." You wouldn't have said that you'd love to make love to her. You wouldn't have asked her if she wanted to kiss you. You wouldn't have said those things on different occasions and not within the same time frame. That was the last night.
It was.
That was the last night of, they were going in the morning. They were you could see they were starting to panic a bit.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been a lot easier had they been a lot more flexible. I think we'd have got a lot more done had they been more flexible. But it's not having a go at them.
No, not at all. I mean, it was. I know what you're saying. I mean, it was like one of the stings I had ready, and they didn't want me to reply to the guy right away. They said, "Oh, well, we've got to get set up. We want to film you replying to the guy." I can't remember what the reply was, but it was something that they wanted to get on film, and it must have took me 40 minutes to reply to the guy, and that could have been the point where he decided not to turn up because this girl's just not replying to him after this individual has been used to almost instant replies, and then all of a sudden just silence for 40 minutes. That I think that was a big factor in that particular sting, and why that never ended up happening.
That it was quite frustrating, but Yeah, it was great. It's great. I mean, let's get to the point of it. Like, we did it because it meant reaching an audience that we may not have reached
Oh yeah.
in any other way, and that's what this is about. That's the important thing about this, is that it's not about, oh, it's just the UK because I'm from England, and you know what I mean, and whatever. It's a global thing.
It's a problem everywhere. It doesn't matter what country. You can't name one country where it isn't an issue.
Yeah,
And
Exactly.
that's the worrying thing, and I think they were quite shocked because I think at one point, weren't we talking to a guy that was literally in the same hotel as us?
yeah,
He was staying in the hotel.
yeah, that definitely shocked the presenter.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Alison, yeah. Alison was really. She was like, wow, there's a guy, what, a few hundred feet from us in the
Yeah.
same hotel. Like, that was quite crazy. So it seems quite eager, mate,
Yeah.
doesn't he? Like,
Does.
already, look at that. All their messages already.
It's ridiculous.
Dude, like, the conversation started 10 minutes ago. It would have been interesting to have got him, but we just didn't really have time. Like, there wasn't.
I think that was on the last night as
It
well.
It was. Because we did that. The guy that turned up, that Steve, who's been charged now, that was pretty late in the night that we did that one, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was about 10:30, 11 o'clock or something. Was it earlier than that? It felt later than that.
Yeah.
It felt like it was late by the time we got to bed, so I'm going to say it was about 10:30 maybe. Let's talk about him, man. Like,
Yeah.
he was...
Well,
Your thoughts, man.
my thoughts kept constantly changing. Obviously, I believe if we had carried on talking to him, he would have met like one of our usual stings where they turn up to meet
Yeah.
said 13, 14-year-old girl. I can't remember the exact age.
Yeah.
I believe he would have done that, but when he turned up to the hotel and he came across as a nice bloke. I can't explain why he comes across that to me.
Yeah.
But and I thought, well, he isn't as bad as some of the others we've got.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're getting off lighter than he is.
Yeah.
And then I go back to the chat logs, and I'm thinking, wow, this guy really, is a pretty bad guy.
Yeah.
And then I watch the footage again, and then my opinion will change again, and think, oh, I feel sorry for the guy.
Yeah.
So I have to go back to the chat logs, and my head is all over the
Yeah,
place
yeah.
because the video footage. I mean, you do feel for the guy. There's something that can't be controlled. No logic
Yeah.
can explain why I feel like that when watching the video back.
Yeah.
It's completely hard to explain. But I'll tell you something interesting when that guy came into the hotel. I went out to meet the guy to escort him to the hotel room.
Oh,
where
yeah.
the sting took place, and obviously you've got the adrenaline, and I was alone with the guy.
Yeah.
I noticed as he's walking in, he's got one of his hands in his pocket.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm thinking the worst at this point. I
Yeah.
mean, thank God it was nothing like that.
Yeah.
But I even had to, because I had no intention of really talking to the guy, I had to stop him. Sorry, I'm just a bit concerned. What have you got in your pocket? Sorry, I was just a bit concerned for my safety, that's all. Okay, that's cool.
I'm a law-abiding citizen, really.
Sorry?
I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Yeah, I'm not really exposed to discussing matters with you, I'm afraid. Because I was scared for my life. I was
Yeah.
absolutely terrified. There was no way I was going to let him walk behind me if
Yeah.
I had that little bit of thought that he may have had some sort of weapon in his pocket. I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't, but that was...
But he voluntarily showed you or told you what was in there, wasn't it? It wasn't
Yeah,
like you were
yeah.
like, what is in your pocket sort of thing.
yeah, of course.
Yeah. When I look back on it, like I'm watching it and I'm like, you're scripted, mate. Like you're saying a story that you've concocted in your head, and you're sticking to it. Like, he actually believes, I think, what he's saying. I think he actually believes in what he was saying, but there was a crucial point where I said to him, you're probably there getting your jollies on off and, you know, getting your rocks off kind of thing, and then when you're done, you're kind of like, oh, guilt, you know, we can't talk again, and then 20 million messages of him like, hello, hi, what, hello, where are you, please talk to me. You know, I think, I don't know, with him, he was a weird one. Like, he's really weird. It's like, he would say all this stuff, like really quite bad stuff, and then he would be like, but we can't talk again.
Yeah.
And then then he finally turned around and said that he wants to do this, that and the other to her. And I was just like, right, you've said that now, what are you going to do now? And then of course he's like, oh, we shouldn't talk, we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't. You know, and then obviously he wasn't, you know, in the sting he hadn't turned up to meet the kid. He knew what we was turning up to. He knew he was meeting me. So obviously he had time to plan what he was going to say. Like, I don't think for a second he hadn't watched a video or two and thought, right, this is what I've got to do. This is what I've got to say. I can get out of this. But obviously he's been charged now, so we'll see what happens. But, you know, we spoke to quite a few. Didn't we go out to go meet a guy? We did, didn't we? We went down into Blackpool.
Yeah, we did.
South Shore.
Yeah, I don't know where, still to this day, I don't know what happened there. He was very keen.
Yeah.
And he obviously just wanted the child to go somewhere. I don't know whether he was hiding somewhere, watching.
Probably.
But
I don't think the fact that...
But he was very keen to meet, and then all of a sudden, well, he actually gets the child to meet there. He's saying he's there.
Yeah.
And he wasn't.
I reckon he saw us. Yeah. I reckon because they weren't listening to what I was saying. So I did say, look, we've got to stop driving about, just pull over here. Yeah. And they were just not really... I don't think they actually fully got why I was saying these things, but there's certain reasons why I say certain things, because I know what I'm fucking talking about.
Yeah.
But, you know, that was kind of, I think that might have been more of a language barrier kind of, although we talk the same, we've got different sort of, we pick up on different things that people say in different tones.
Different body language.
Yeah. That Steve from the hotel, like his chat log, man, it's just, I don't get it. I don't get his reasoning and his logic behind, you know, things he said, because he knew what he was doing at the start. It wasn't like he'd said it and then thought, oh, I've done something wrong. He knew from the start what he was doing was wrong. And then, and then he went running to the police and said that it was entrapment.
Yeah. Right,
so what he did was, I said to him, obviously you have to let him go. And I went, look, I'll come to the police station with you in the morning, just ring me and I'll come down with you. Didn't get a phone call. Next thing, there's an email come through to the website as we've driven back from Preston, Blackpool, wherever it was we were driving back from. And I rang up the old bill, didn't I? I rang up the copper and he was just like, oh, it's Stinson. I'm like, yeah, sound, mate. And he says to me, yeah, there's a guy called Steve, and he's come to the police station. I was like, oh, right, okay, fair enough, awesome. He went, yeah, he says you're making false allegations and entrapment. I went, oh, right. You're going to arrest me then? He went, no. He says he's coming in to make a statement at such and such a time and such a day, and we'll slap the cuffs on him and have him for grooming. I was like, brilliant, that's what I thought you'd say. You know, and then we just had a bit of a chat, and he was a nice officer, man, nice guy, really nice guy. You know, he was really sort of grateful.
Yeah.
And so he turned up to go and be like, the paedophile hunter has done this to me. How dare he do this? How dare he catch me talking to children? You have to stop him. Yeah, mate, you're nicked for nonsense. Cells now. Like, that's kind of how it went down, pretty much, I expect. In my head.
Yeah, it would have been something like that. I mean, like, he had this idea in his head when he was coming to meet us at the hotel that he was going to get off with it. He fully believed that he was going to give you a load of BS and
be able to sort of talk his way out of it. But I knew before he even turned up that I was going to be like, your information is going to be handed in to the police.
Yeah.
I thought she was a vulnerable 13-year-old kid.
Yeah, and then you said those things to her.
I know, but
Right, just so you know, Your information is going to be handed into the police. Your information is going to be uploaded to the internet, and I will be attending court to prosecute. And I don't get why he got a bit upset about it. You know, he weren't happy about it, was he?
No.
Like, oh, it's a setup. It's a setup. And it's like, how is it a setup? I've told you everything that was gonna happen. You've
So this was a stitch up?
No, it's not a stitch up. You've admitted to things yourself, mate. You've admitted everything yourself. I've not stitched you up. I've asked you questions.
You asked me to come here and be honest.
You've been honest, but you've broken the law. Am I supposed to walk right? Am I supposed to? Is everyone in this room now supposed to be like, right? Well, right, he said these things, but you know, what do we do now? Do we not hand it into the police? So therefore, he hasn't convinced me. The only thing he's convinced me of is the fact that it was him sending the messages. So obviously, I'm going to hand it into the police. He just was just clinging on to like what I said, and he was hoping that
he was trying to groom you.
Probably. Ain't gonna work.
No.
Ain't gonna work. But yeah, like as if he thought that it wasn't, that I was just gonna be like, yeah, off you go, mate. There's a big camera crew here and everything, and I'm just gonna be like, yeah, don't worry, it's fine, off you go.
We'll let you off this time.
Yeah, off you try. Next time though, I'll have you. Andy as well.
Andy, oh, of course.
Yeah. The solicitor. He was a solicitor, wasn't he? He was your...
Yeah, I was devastated, the fact that he didn't turn up.
Yeah,
I mean, I think there were a lot of factors with that. Obviously, one of my replies took about 40 minutes with waiting on 60 minutes to get ready so they could film me do this particular reply. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was relevant, and that's when he started not replying so quick. And he just completely and totally got cold feet at the end. I mean, there was 2 times he was gonna turn up. There was the first night he was going to meet, which I believe he would have met, but he was saying he was stuck in work. I actually do believe that, as I did call up his work and he was in the building.
I was there for that.
So there was some truth in that, and that's why I believe the second night, he would turn up because he was genuinely stuck in work. So the second night he started acting weird. He was such a chatty person. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he's taken ages to reply. He's given very short responses. Yeah. And something along the line had gone wrong. So as soon as I started not replying to him as fast as he was used to, that's when he started to turn. Yeah. So I mean, obviously he did get arrested, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he's been nicked.
Yeah. So obviously there's that, because he was a horrible one to talk to when he was talking about him having a 12-year-old girlfriend.
Yes, I forgot about that.
That's when, I mean, maybe I shouldn't have, but that's when I got emotionally attached to getting him. I thought we need to get this guy. We need to report this guy to the police. This man is a danger. Yeah. This man is out for young children. Yeah. This guy, whether his story's true or not, I mean, I personally believe it. I've got nothing there. I mean, I hope the police do investigate that, but for him to say, oh yeah, he met this 12-year-old girl at a barbecue and now he used to take her away and do all sorts of horrible things with her. I do believe that he wasn't a liar. I found. And the fact he admitted he is looking for a replacement to that, because this young girl had moved away with the parents. He got away with that. Obviously, maybe the young girl's parents don't know what happened, and maybe they do need to know, and it's disgusting. That child's life is ruined. It really is. They'll haunt her forever, and I mean, that would be great news if the police do actually investigate that.
I think
that
they will
part
have.
Of it. They'll have to.
They'll have to. Yeah, they can't just ignore something like that. Like, that's not something that they can just be like, yeah, well, because it's so high profile. Yeah. Because obviously I've posted it out on the page and stuff. and then you've got Jonathan.
I have no idea what you're on
So
about.
you're not here. So you're not here now to meet a 13-year-old girl. Like, as if he was trying to convince us that that wasn't him. It's exactly what you're wearing. Bike helmet, yeah. Black and
I
yellow
saw
bike
a
top.
guy over there.
Black and yellow bike
I
top.
saw a guy over there looking straight at me, cycled over to him, asked him what he was doing. He said, I'm checking out what you're wearing because I want to get stuff like that.
He said something very strange though, which you know, I probably would never get to the bottom of. But when he said,
My best mate is in prison for doing such a thing. I would never.
You're going to be in the same position, mate.
"Is that truth? Is that some sort of lie? I don't know."
I don't think he knows what the truth is half the time.
Yeah.
Like, he was just having a rest, remember? Like, that wasn't him in the pictures.
Yeah.
That wasn't him sending the messages. That wasn't him wearing the exact same clothes
Yeah.
in the exact same spot at the exact same time that he said he would be there. Like, personally, I think he was just making up bubbles, mate. I think
Yeah.
there was just stories coming out of his mouth. Like, I'm on the guild wheel, I've gone around the guild wheel. I'm like, all right, yeah, but then you've come here to rape a child.
Yeah.
Admit it, don't deny it. Like, how can someone lie to my face when they know that I'm right and that is them? Like, I'd just be like, not that I'd do that, but I'd just be like, yeah, do you know what, mate? Yeah, what's the point in lying? Like, let's have a sit down and I'll tell you everything that's going on. And I'd just be like, get everything out.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to lie and making yourself look more and more stupid. Especially him, man. Like, he was just a numpty. I don't watch Channel 4 because it says a lot of things wrong about Christianity. You're here trying to rape a kid, mate. You're everything that's wrong with humanity.